All right, so here we are on the server side. We're editing with a Spring Boot, Spring Boot, yes. It's a Java server, and here's the project that we've been working for the last couple of weeks. We were able to retrieve a list of courses, a list of modules and users and whatnot, and so we're going to now add a new data model, for capturing widgets. Okay. All right, so let's see. We'll create a widget data model. So we'll create a new class here, and this will be widget, right? And widgets can have all sorts of properties. But for now, just to get this started, we'll see that the client only really cares about an ID and a text, right? For now, right? We'll get it more interesting in a little bit. But just to test that this is actually connecting to it, let's just focus on these two features. All right. Okay, so let's have here that this is going to be an entity, right? A Jpa entity. So let's import this. It's going to have two fields for now. So private int ID, and it's going to have private string. What was it? Text. Right, let's just focus on those two things. This is going to be an ID, an identifier, unique identifier. Let's import that. And let's now do this is going to be a generated value. And it's going to have a strategy of identity, meaning it's going to be auto-incremented. All right? And the only other thing that we need here is the setters and getters. So let's auto-generate those two at the bottom. There we go. Okay, so we're done with the data model, right? That's all we need for now. Right? Later we'll explore things such as the fact that we have many types of widgets, right? We have a heading widget and whatnot, all those other ones that are inheriting from this base class, right? We'll explore that a little bit. For now, let's just focus on just this simple widget. Let's see. What else do we need? We need a repository for our widget. So to handle all the boilerplate CRUD operations. So let's create here a new interface, and it'll be called widget repository. And this is going to extend the CRUD repository and it's going to manage the widget. So this is going to be widget, and this is going to be an integer. All right, and the widget will need to import that. There we go. All right, excellent. So so we have somebody who can talk to a database and find all and pull and insert and all that, right? All that good stuff. So now we need a service, right, that exposes our data model. So let's create here a class called widget service. And this is going to be a REST controller that will allow us to map various REST endpoints, right, to be able to hit the database from a HTTP request. So let's look at the really first one. We just want to be able to retrieve a list of widgets. I just want all the widgets. Yes. So this will be find all widgets. All right, and we probably will need to import widgets Widget. Did I not call it widget? Widget. Why are you not finding it? Okay. Webdev. Models. Widget. Okay. I'm not sure why I wasn't finding it. And we'll have to import a list from Java utils. So what we'll need is we'll just use the repository. We'll need the repository to find all the widgets. So we're going to bring in the widget repository. There it is. And this is the repo repository. And we're going to auto-wire that inside, right? So this is going to be auto-wired. And we're going to auto-wire that in. And this is just going to return what? It's going to return the repository dot find all. All right, and probably we'll need to cast this to a list widget. Excellent. All right, so this retrieves all the widgets. Okay. All right, so let's see if we can hit this from the client. Right, we'd like to be able to retrieve this from the client, and to do that, typically we'd like to be able to do that when the component, right, first loads that it's ready to be rendered. Right, so it's about to render, but it doesn't have any data. Right, so it kind of has to go back to the server and say, hey, data server, give me any data so I can iterate over it and render it. Right, so let's see how we can do that from the React side.